thank Anthony for putting this together. Thank you guys, the media, we've got to become pretty tight with, for all you do covering this team and this program. It certainly helps with recruiting, helps with our fan support, helps us continue to build this brand across the nation, and that's because of you guys sitting here today. I truly appreciate our relationship, the relationship you have with our guys, and as long as all the media stays to be good media, it's all good by me, so we love having you guys around. As far as an open statement, the season upon us, obviously there's a ton of expectations within this program. They're extremely high, and that's kind of the way we want it. We don't hide from that. I don't think we've ever hid from that. You know, we're going to return 9 guys who are national qualifiers, return an All-American, 1 All-American, a Big Ten champ. Kenny Theobald and Scotty Delvecchio will be returning off of redshirt years where they're very successful in their redshirt campaigns. 6 guys right now, I believe, are ranked in the top 20 of their weight class. And of course, a tremendous, talented freshman group coming in. Who right now, we don't know what we're going to do with any of them or all of them, whether they're going to wrestle a redshirt, and a lot depend on next week at the U Stroudsburg Open. What does all that stuff mean really for our program? It means absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It just means we got a bunch of really good guys who are committed to wrestling, and that's really all it means. We still have a tremendous out-of-conference schedule. Princeton, I believe, is nationally ranked to start the season. Cornell's ranked 8th in the country. Oregon State's ranked 14th in the country. We'll enter this Hofstra tournament early December, which has Oklahoma, UPenn, North Carolina State, all top programs in the country. So it's a tremendous out-of-conference schedule. Our Big Ten schedule, obviously, toughest conference in the country. We're on the road at Ohio State, number 5. Penn State, the defending national champs, we're on the road for them. We'll wrestle Illinois right here in the RAC. They're ranked 10th in the country, and Michigan's ranked 11th in the country. So it's obviously a competitive conference. And our schedule, the 9 duels they give us will be unbelievably competitive. We feel we can be really good, but there's certainly a lot of question marks right now. We have to replace Anthony Perotti, who's been, you know, one of the faces of this program. He inspired this place for many matches for a lot of years, and someone who's going to be unbelievably tough to replace. Not only his wins and the points he scored at the national tournament, but just his character and his fight and his ability to compete night in and night out. We're going to miss that. Plus, he's a 2-time All-American. We're going to miss Billy Smith. You know, he's a heavyweight, and that's a question mark right now, how good we'll be at that weight. We think we have guys, but Billy was a 4-year starter, won over 100 matches, which is hard to do. So we got to replace that, and he scored a lot of points at the national tournament, and through his 4 years had a lot of wins at the national tournament. So we'll figure that out as we go, but we're pretty close to being an elite team. We feel we're an elite team. You know, I've always talked about being a top 10 team in the country year in and year out. That's kind of our focus, and if we can break through and get some of these guys who haven't placed at the national tournament to do so, who knows, maybe we're contending for a trophy. And I know I will never talk about our team's goals. You know the expectations, but I'm not going to get into our goals. But we've set some fairly high goals, and these guys have set those goals. So we want to contend for a trophy. We'll need some breaks to do that, and we'll have to really perform well at that national tournament. So with that being said, I open it up to you guys. Any questions, and then we'll go from there.
Scott, what will you do? What will you do as far as wrestle-offs, and what weights have the most competition right now?
Yeah, great question. For the first time ever, we won't have a inter-squad match. We won't have wrestle-offs, which we normally do. What we're going to do this year is we're going to go to the East Stroudsburg Open, and our guys are going to compete unattached. You know, so it's not on our schedule. But November 6th, we'll have 30 guys. I should say actually 29 guys, because Anthony will be wrestling in the All-Star match. He won't be competing at the East Stroudsburg Open. But the rest of these guys will go and compete unattached. They'll pay their own way. They'll get their own rides. They'll go there and they'll enter themselves in an open tournament, and that's how we'll figure it out. And I think for me, you guys know this, I'm not a huge wrestle-off guy. You're wrestling the same guy, you know, day in and day out. You know what each other's going to do. For years, we've had guys lose wrestle-offs and end up being our starter 2 weeks later. So, you know, I've always done it for the fans, to meet our guys, to sign autographs for the fans, for the little kids. We've always done a good job of promoting it, getting people to come out. But for me, I don't think it serves the purpose. I think putting them in an open tournament where they got to compete 3 or 4 or 5 times, and there's a good chance they're going to run into each other, That's the reason for it, and that's kind of why we want to do it. We want to see these guys perform against other guys, and there's a lot of competition in the room right now, and there's a lot of weight classes that are uncertain, that are really, really uncertain, and that's a good problem. We got a lot of depth at 125. We got 2 national qualifiers at 133. We got 2 national qualifiers at 149, and who knows what's going to happen at 165. We have a slew of guys. So, and heavyweight, of course. We got 3 heavyweights that we got to see them perform. I don't need to sit around and watch a wrestle off where I know it's going to probably be 1-1. I want to see these guys compete and prepare to compete on their own, and it's their tournament, and we'll see how that goes, and that's the reason for doing that.
Coach, it's obvious the success you've had here. Can you even see it building more within the state of New Jersey because you made it such a priority?
Oh, it's got to build more. We have to build it more. We have to build it more with recruits, with high school coaches. It's never. We still have certain guys that want to leave this state and think there's always something better out there. But that'll probably always be the case. We can't let that happen. We got to continue to get the best guys that fit our program, not necessarily keep everybody home. You hear that all the time. We got to keep everybody home. We don't have to keep everybody home. We have to keep the right ones home, the ones that are committed to this place. And there are some guys in the senior class this year, obviously I can't name any names, that went on to other schools. That's fine. They didn't want to buy into what's going on here, and there's reasons, that they went somewhere else. So you got to find the right guys. You got to find the guys that are committed to what these guys back here have built, and that's a lot of hard work and dedication and sacrifice, and it's a lifestyle and something that goes on year round. So, but I don't think, as far as the recruiting goes, and that'll never end. You're always going to have your battles. There's some great schools out there across the country that kids grow up, believing in and want to be a part of, and that's fine. You got to, if they're the guys you want, you got to make them stay home, and then you got to get everybody else on board, whether they're club coaches, high school coaches, recreation coaches, whatever the case might be. Everybody's got to believe in what we're doing here.
Scott, to that, and a week from 6 days from now, there's going to be a groundbreaking for a new facility. What's that going to mean to your program?
It's a lot. I've always been a nuts and bolts type guy. At least I feel that way. I don't mind college out, but the reality is, with the type of guys we have in our room and the type of athlete we're recruiting, there's just not enough room down there. These guys are competing for every single point, whether it's a Monday afternoon after a competition or leading up to the competition the day before. So it's gotten unbelievably competitive. We just need a new facility with a lot more space. This is going to be huge. It's an arms race now. Everybody's trying to outdo each other with their new facility, so we're going to invite it. We've worked really, really hard to get donors on board and to buy into this vision that Pat has. So it's finally going to be put into place, and I've even told Pat, they're going to put the shovel in the ground November 1st. Leave 3 or 4 there, and we'll take care of it. We'll have that thing done in a week. But you know how it is in Jersey, right? It'll last forever, and it'll take some time to build, so we can't really get caught up in it. It's going to be a beautiful facility. The reality is they should have our guys on board, and we could dig that thing pretty quickly. But it's exciting. It's exciting for this university, certainly exciting for this program.
I can't believe we made it 8 minutes without an Anthony Ashnault question. What was his off season like, and what did he do, not do, and where's he at as the season begins?
I think you'll see right now, and I know I say this every year, it's the best Anthony Ashnault. It's the best version of himself. He's gotten better. He's trained really, really hard in the off season. He always trains hard, but this is the best version of Anthony Ashnault you've seen. If you come by practice and watch how he's competing and living his life, and, every day he's super, super competitive, and that's kind of what you want in everything he does. So that's going to lead, obviously lead over to success. And he's got an unbelievable challenge next weekend. He's been invited, first ever Rutgers wrestler, to wrestle the All-Star match. He'll wrestle Bryce Meredith from Wyoming, who was a national runner-up last year. So it's a great test, but I always feel good about our guys early on because of the time they put in the off-season. So, for him, it's about consistency. We all know his goal. That's never going to change since he stepped foot on campus. It's to win a national title. So that's where he's at. It's the way he trains every single day. So, again, it's the best version of him we'll see.